It's badass.
Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche postgame show live from the Toyota Winners Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. We got AJ and Rudo coming to you after the Avs win over the Boston Bruins 4-1 in a weird game. I do think there's a decent amount of stuff to dig into and talk about, but also the Avs only gave up 14 shots to the Boston Bruins in this game. They did not give up much at all, or maybe the Bruins didn't generate much at all, depending on how you want to look at it. We'll dive into all of that, but let's start with the 60-second rundown. So, first shot of the game, a great shot pass from Boston to the back post, ends up in the back of the Avs net. Parker Kelly gets a little bit caught. Second shot of the game, it's a Nathan MacKinnon breakaway, which he finishes on the backhand side. Third shot of the game, it's a Josh Manson point shot that finds its way through and is in the back of the net. So it's 2-1 with 3 shots in the game. And then we would spend the next 37 minutes not seeing any goals get scored. The first period was at least in the realm of what you could call even if the underlyings didn't favor the Avs. But the second period was utter dominance when it comes to possession from Colorado. Yes, they had a lot of power play opportunities. Yes, they failed to score on those opportunities. But Boston only mustered 2 shots in the second period total. And then early in the third period, Nathan MacKinnon scores his second of the game to seal the deal for the Avs. Marty Nate just picks up the empty netter to make it 4-1. And Boston just didn't look that competitive. AJ, where do you want to start with this thing?
Great question, man. I mean, where do you start? This was a beatdown. This wasn't close. This wasn't competitive. The only reason that it felt that way was because the Avalanche struggled to finish, especially in the second period.
Yep.
But frankly, I'm going to throw some numbers at people tonight just because this is what I do. I'm a nerd. But the Bruins got their 7th shot on goal with 4:05 remaining in the first period. And they had 7 shots on goal the rest of the game.
44 minutes.
So 44 minutes and 5 seconds, they had 7 shots on goal.
That's not good.
Well, I guess it's 43 minutes and 55 seconds. I went backwards. 43 minutes and 55 seconds.
What?
7 shots on goal.
Is it? How much? Anyway, yes. Essentially 44 minutes with 7 shots on goal.
I mean, we're splitting hairs on a matter of 5 seconds. Yeah.
You're talking about that's one shot every 6 minutes. Like, that's not a lot of anything. And some of that is Boston missing the net or whatever. But I was
not
having
much,
this
though.
Yeah, it was really not a lot given up. But I was having this conversation with Micah on the watch along, AJ, and I'm curious your thoughts. And I know the answer is both, but just to talk about it.
Sorry.
I mean, I know this when I'm asking it, but how much credit does the Avalanche defense get for that ridiculous limitation of opportunities versus how much is Boston just not a very good team?
Okay, so I actually don't think this is both. I think most of this credit goes to Colorado.
Okay.
Because Boston is still an NHL team. And again, I'm gonna throw some numbers at you that are gonna make you go, "Oh my god!" But you said, "Oh, some of that is the Bruins missing the net and all that." They had 39 shot attempts. Okay,
which is
the Avs had
none.
38 shots on goal.
Almost outshot their
comparison.
attempts. Yeah,
38 shots on goal for Colorado. 39 shot attempts. That is at all strengths. That's not 5v5. That's not even strength. That is 60 minutes of hockey played, and they had 39 shot attempts. The Avalanche had more scoring chances then they almost had 3 times as many scoring chances as the Bruins had shots on goal.
That's
like
wild. Just not a competitive hockey game in any sense of the imagination.
It wasn't. In no way was it. I mean, you could say when it was 1-1 before the Josh Manson goal, it was competitive just because the score was what it was. But once the Avs took the lead, Boston didn't play the rest of the game. They had 7 shots on goal in the final 2 periods, as established. 7 shots on goal.
Uncanny. And you get lost in the sauce a little bit of how dominant that second period was because of the Avs' failures to score an actual goal. Particularly, you go 0 for 3 on the power play in that period, I think it was.
Yep.
We'll talk about the power play in a little bit, but I want to give the Avs their flowers first here because that's a team that is going to work. It's so businesslike from Colorado in this game where they know they're the better team. They play like it. And even when maybe their power plays aren't going well, even if Swayman is making a couple of big saves on them, they just keep turning the engine over and they keep pushing the right direction until eventually the dam broke.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, I see people in the Toyota chat already mentioning this, that Scott Wedgwood had to make like a big time monster great save in the third period, but he made one.
Right. He made exactly one. And not to just,
and that's not this is in no way like a criticism of him. How could it be?
Right. He gave up one goal again.
The Avs were so good that they were like, we need you to make one monster save for us in this entire 60 minutes. One monster save. That's all they asked of him. That's a wonderful job. And the thing is he's doing that job. We've talked about this for 3 years with the Avalanche, that their goaltenders don't need to be spectacular every night. Right. They don't need to be spectacular for an entire period. Just don't give up easy goals. Don't give up anything free. The Avalanche fourth line had a bad breakdown, left a guy wide open on the back door. It turned into a goal against, and that was the end of it.
Yep.
The Avs gave up one really good scoring chance the rest of the game, and Wedgwood made the save.
I will say
that's impressive. You're going to win so many hockey games. You could do that more often than not.
And I'm glad we don't have to live in this world, but need is a strong word for that save. Even if that goal goes in, the Avs still lead the game 3-2 in that moment.
You're 100% correct that it is need.
Right.
In quotations. It's just, if they score that, then they have life. They're back into it.
It's a different story. Away from 100%.
Disaster. But yeah, you're talking about, you could still win the game if he doesn't make that save. You're still in control. You're still ahead. That could have been the final game, the final goal of the game. Oh,
and you would have won.
Save.
Yeah.
And you would have won. I mean, it's Scott Wedgwood is on an unreal run right now. 5 of 6 games, he's only allowed 1 goal. Like, that's bonkers.
Yep. He's allowed 8 goals in 6 games.
Like
9 goals in 6 games? Yeah, 9.
It's 9, yeah.
Which is insane. Like, that's top tier goaltending. But tonight, he had to make 13 saves. It's not like he was standing on his head tonight, even if that one save was great.
No, we don't really need to talk about Scott Wedgwood much tonight because he was chilling.
Yeah.
He got a front row seat to a
straight up
performance.
It was an easy night when the goalie gave up 1 goal and he didn't even make our 3 stars. I'll put it to you that way. Go back through this game though.
I can't wait. I'm gonna rewatch it in the morning, and it's gonna be first of all, it's gonna be a really easy game to rewatch because it's kind of boring. But you don't really have to worry about a lot of puck going this way, that way.
Yeah.
I can watch this thing on 2x with no worries.
Zoom right through it. That first period, I can't even call it a sluggish start for the Avs because they answered with goals immediately on their shots on goal. when they did get them. But they do give up the first goal of the game, which is not been a common situation for them so far this year. To immediately punch back like that, is there some good fortune? Sure. But at what point do we start giving the Avs credit for, we talked about it literally on our show yesterday, they once again have never trailed by more than one goal.
Yeah. It's funny. That was the first thing I thought of when Boston scored, is I was like, oh, are we finally gonna see some minutes for the Avs end up down by 2? And then the Avs scored, what was it, like minutes later?
Yeah, not long. It did not take a long time.
It was 1-0 for, hold on, I've got it. It was 1-0 for almost 4 minutes. It was 3:57.
Great. Okay, yeah. What a long stretch of hockey. Yeah.
This game was competitive for exactly 10 minutes.
Manson's shot went in, and that was it. Yeah.
Yep. They largely packed it in after that. It was, man, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I understand that there's going to be some consternation over the power play and that it's on a cold streak and all that, but I really don't think that we have a whole lot to get into tonight other than, wow, Colorado's really good.
They're a good team. And before I just give my opinion, let me ask you, what do you think of Marty Necas' game today?
Kind of blah.
Okay, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, kind of blah. He had a couple of good scoring chances because he's Marty Necas, and he's playing alongside a freak of nature that is just, it seemed like he was trying to outshoot Boston on his own.
Which I want to talk about that too, yeah.
Yeah, I already wrote it in what will be the takeaways from tonight. It is already just I'll just drop it here real quick since we're in this room already. But when Nathan MacKinnon scored his second goal, shot attempts at the time, or shots on goal at the moment that he scored his second goal, were Boston 9, Nathan MacKinnon 8. And goals were 2-1 in favor of Nathan MacKinnon.
Right. Nathan MacKinnon by himself.
Yeah. Like, Jesus. This is a beatdown.
Since we're just having this conversation, what I really want to stress about that Nathan MacKinnon is playing in that way fit the moment. You're talking about maybe Necas is not having his greatest game, or Swayman has his number, or whatever you want to call it. Fine. You're playing in a game where the puck isn't going in super well for you. So what does Nathan MacKinnon do? He shoots the puck until it goes in the net. He just keeps shooting the thing on repeat. And it pays off. It looked like
he was trying to drill a hole in the middle of Jeremy Swayman's chest. He was like, if I hit enough times, eventually I'll break through. And then
eventually Jeremy Swayman's chest got out of the way.
his second goal, he was like, all right, I'm going to try go over his shoulder, put it right by his ear and see if he can handle it.
He could not. Indeed. It's fun to watch, and I don't think this was a particularly entertaining game just from a purely viewership standpoint. But to watch the Avs turn the wick up on these teams that do they maybe get away with a little bit more stuff because it's not a great team? Sure. But I cannot remember the last game that the Avs played that had a shot disparity this big. And that's not just, great defense, you only gave up 14 shots. The Avs as a team were pushing 40 shots in the game while playing that lockdown defense. Yeah. We're talking about a 25 shot differential, essentially. I get 24, I guess, one off from 25. Those are two teams that are not playing the same game of hockey. They're just not.
No. And really, if we added up the Columbus game and the Boston game, you're probably talking about the two most statistically dominant games back to back that the Avalanche will likely play this year.
Yeah, most likely.
Because neither Columbus nor Boston has had any real meaningful sustained pressure.
Yep.
In like a way where you thought, the Avalanche might actually be in trouble in this game. Like Columbus's best moments came with the goalie pulled in the final 4 minutes. Then they scored the empty net goal, and that was the end of it, right?
Yeah.
And tonight with Boston, they scored their goal, and really that was the end of it. We're giving them 6 extra minutes of credit with when Manson scored to make it 2-1. The Avalanche
Right.
dominated from there, but like it really like this was not a competitive game for very long.
And when you look at how the game played out, I know all saves are timely, all goals are timely, sure. But you get through a second period where the Avs dominate and they don't get that goal. And you feel going into the third like, okay, it's a 1-goal game. Here we go. You expect Boston to push back. You expect that counterpunch to come. And 2 minutes into the third period, it's 3-1 because Nathan MacKinnon just said, we're not doing this tonight. We're winning this game.
Yeah, and what a great play by MacKinnon. It was interesting to watch him make that play because you and I had just talked yesterday that he hasn't been doing as much of the pulling up and sorting through the transition defense and how hard it is for teams to defend. And that's exactly what that play was, except he doesn't make the play to anybody. He lets their defense kind of get figured out. And then David Pastrnak leaves him. MacKinnon moves the puck, and Pastrnak was like, I don't really need to chase him.
Well,
bro, you might have needed to chase him.
And credit to Cale Makar there, too, though, who slashes to the net front and kind of cuts through that defense to discombobulate it a little bit, which opens up MacKinnon a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the Avalanche defense does so well, in particular with regards to their activation, is it's not just jumping in and pinching. It's not aggressively keeping a puck along the wall or trying to hold a blue line instead of just retreating. They jump in and they go to the net. They get in the middle of it.
There was a shift tonight where Josh Manson was forechecker number 1. That sums up the Avs' aggressive defense when it comes to the offensive zone.
You should have scored on one of those shifts.
You're not wrong.
Like the goal that he scored is like, all right, but the one that he doesn't score on, he slashes to the
net front,
net, you're like,
picks it out of midair, and somehow Swayman gets a blocker on it. But
and Jeremy Swayman honestly is a major reason why this game wasn't like 5 or 6-1 by the end of the second period.
Yeah, it could have gone a different way. We do need to take our first break of the show here, so let's make sure we're hitting that. As we're brought to you by Coors Light. Make sure you're choosing chill. Get the Mountain Blue on the bottle or the can to let you know it's ice cold and ready to drink. You probably saw me drinking some during the watch along. You know I choose chill. Coors is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged to keep it fresher. And you can find it anywhere in the United States. Pretty much every liquor store has it. But if you don't want to get off your couch and go to the liquor store, you can get it delivered right to your front door thanks to CoorsLight.com/DNVR and Instacart. It's just that easy. You can use your phone to choose chill and get Coors Light, whatever the occasion. We're in the dying days of warmth here in Colorado, so if you're still trying to get a grill out in this weekend, maybe a great time to choose chill and order some Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose chill. Get it delivered right to your front door with CoorsLight.com/DNVR and Instacart. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please celebrate responsibly. Then you can also make sure you're getting in with the official vehicle of DNVR, which is Toyota. They're also the official vehicle of the DNVR Avalanche, and they've got a vehicle for everyone, whether it be trucks, sedans, SUVs, everything in between. 17 different models with all-wheel or four-wheel drive like the Epic 4Runner. They also offer more low and zero-emission vehicles combined than any other automaker, which includes 16 different hybrids. They even have hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So take command on the road or on the trail, wherever you go. You can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing smooth city rides in SUVs like the RAV4 and Grand Highlander. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores, including Auto Nation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount State Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota East Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I'm picking through this game, and let's just have the power play conversation here. Let's get it out of the way, because the Avs do go 0 for 5. I'm not particularly concerned with it. I do not think that the power play looked great today, though. But part of that is you moved Brock Nelson to the bumper. Part of that is you put Olofsson on the top power play unit on the right side. Are we giving this a grace period, or was this we experimented and we're gonna go back to what we had. You are muted, maybe?
If you're not giving it a grace period, you're wilding out. You have a new coach. You've got changing roles, a little bit different personnel. Like, it's a different feel than what you had last year. You're trying to figure all of it out, right?
Yep.
Like, you need to give it time. But also, I disagree with you that the power play didn't look very good. I thought that they deserved a goal.
I mean, the Nature's play probably should have gone in, but it didn't. He catches one net
and that's
front
the thing. You could easily argue that they should have had a goal tonight on the power play, not last game against Columbus.
There's one power play, yeah, whatever.
And it didn't and it was bad, and they were already up 3-1, and you were like, whatever. But the game before that, they had definitely earned a better fate on the power play. Yeah. I think that their process has been good in 3 of the last 4 games. The results just aren't there, and I understand it's a results-based business. It's fair. It's a fair complaint to say you need to score, but when the power play looks like crap and it does score, you're not sitting there going, I feel so good about the power play. You're looking at it going, yeah, but it didn't play very well.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, what you really want to have happen is that it plays really well and it scores. So far for the Avs, that hasn't happened. Through 6 games, they're 5-0-1, and the power play hasn't had one game where it's both played really well and they've scored. They haven't done that yet. They haven't had a good game yet. They've capped out as just one power play goal in a game. Yep. It's the first 3 games. They haven't scored a power play goal in the last 3. So I think that in the second period they deserved a better fate. They actually produced some pretty good numbers. One of those numbers just wasn't a goal. I think that the power plays in the first and third periods were bad.
I struggle with one. Maybe this is more so just the way the power plays panned out and the way the game played out. There was never really opportunities for Olofsson to look dangerous on that right side. It's just kind of nothing happened over there.
This is my complaint with how it played, and when we're talking process and stuff, is that you put Brock Nelson in the bumper spot. He's really good there, right? You put Victor Olofsson out wide, and every scouting report is going to know, okay, Victor Olofsson is over there on the power play. You need to work.
Yep.
Like, you need to get out there. You need to go out there and try and take that away from him. Okay, great. And instead what they did is they spent the entire, most of their time, I don't want to say the entire time, but most of their time trying to force attempts into Brock Nelson in the bumper. Victor Olofsson didn't get one single look over there.
Yeah, true.
To let that one-timer go. Not one. 5 power play attempts, and you didn't even get him one good shot attempt. Not one clean look, nothing. And for me, I don't understand how that happens. He played 6 minutes and 28 seconds on a power play. That's Victor Olofsson. This is what you sign him to do. He doesn't even get an attempt. Not like, oh, he got a good look and he, rocketed that thing wide. No, not one attempt. To me, that's really frustrating.
The other part of it was I didn't love Nelson in the bumper. And I some of that is the connective tissue around him there. But they didn't really seem to generate a ton out of that bumper spot tonight.
Yeah, I think that we saw kind of a MacKinnon, like a frustrated MacKinnon that was like, I'm gonna force some pucks into some places that I know I shouldn't, and that includes a couple of shots. He had 4 shots on goal on the power play and only 2 scoring chances. MacKinnon did.
Yep.
So it goes to show you that he wasn't and again, this is where when the power play doesn't score, we get to be critical of everything that he does and everything that the power play does. If they don't score, we want them, and they don't shoot very much, we want them to shoot more. But when they shoot a lot, but they're not good scoring chances,
we want better
say,
shot
why
selection.
Are you doing that?
Right. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So the only way that you can win is to create high grade A chances and then score on them, and do that a bunch of times. It's the only way people like us are ever going to be happy with it, right? So it's tough, but with I like the aggressive mentality. I like to see that Nathan MacKinnon is because last year it was frustrating to watch, where he would just stop shooting.
Yeah.
And I like that he's shooting. I like that Cale Makar was shooting a little bit. That dude needs to score a power play goal.
He does.
That guy needs to score one from up high, a one-timer, a wrister, whatever it is. It's starting to get a little bit long now. If we're going to go back and include the Dallas series, it's starting to be a lot of games that Cale Makar has suddenly gone dry. And some of
he
that
does have a couple 5-on-5
he's
goals for the record, but
he's a defenseman. But I mean specifically on a power play.
you're right.
Because everybody hates the power play coach and they don't look like they know what they're doing, and they don't look, they look mad and they look disjointed and they look frustrated and they can't score, and what is the coach doing? What are the 5 guys on the ice doing? These are all high-end NHL players here, and you're telling me that they can't figure this out? That they can't? So some of this is just raw execution. Get the job done and we won't be talking about this. They haven't been doing that. And they've been so damn good at 5v5 this year, it hasn't mattered. That's not going to be the case all year long. You're going to need your power play to lift you up at 5v5. Yeah. You can't keep scoring 3 goals a game at 5v5. Nobody does that. Well, you need your power play to lift you up eventually. They've gotten away with it, but they're going to need better.
And I understand it's small sample size, but your power play is flirting with 10% right now. I think it's like 12.5% after tonight or something like that. It's got to be better than that statistically. And I know good process. You don't want to be that mad at it. I didn't like the process as much tonight. And to be honest with you, I'm not that mad about the power play. The Avs handled this game regardless. Yeah. But as you said, at a certain point, you have to start picking up power play goals. And the Avs will get there. I'm not concerned about this power play going 100 dry or anything crazy from here. But the sooner the better. That's all.
Oh, absolutely. The sooner the better. And with the slew of really good teams that they've got coming up, they're going to need the power play in those games. You think that you're going to beat the Carolina Hurricanes by trying to score 4 goals at even strength?
Good luck.
That's a tough ask. That's a tough ask. They better be on their 4th goalie again.
The flip side of this is the penalty kill continues to be excellent for Colorado. Another night where the PK does everything they need to do on their kills, which they didn't have a ton of kills or anything crazy, but
4 minutes.
Every single game this year, including the Dallas loss, there are 0 games where the Avs have lost the special teams battle. So even if the power play isn't necessarily producing, it's not like the Avs are losing games predicated on special teams.
Yeah, and I do like the call out that the PK has been pretty good. I think it could be better. I still think that it gets a little bit scrambly. But now you're missing Yoel Kiviranta and Logan O'Connor. Those are arguably your 2 best PK forwards.
Yep.
So for this unit right now, I think you're saying we just want to be competitive.
Well, you trust your goalie right now to the moon, so.
Oh, my God, right? Oh, my God.
Makes it easy.
It might be beyond the moon at this point. We might be getting into other planets.
We're going to Mars, baby.
I think we're certainly into the asteroid belt.
How far is this? Is that like Saturn? I don't know them. I don't know my space very well. Anyway, let's get into our 3 stars of the game here. I think these ones are mostly pretty straightforward tonight, but I did give star number 3 to Artturi Lehkonen because behind Nathan MacKinnon's 2 goals are 2 assists from his wingman. And Lecky is rarely the type of player who's going to give you the big flashy game, the big flashy goal. But he is the guy who's going to do the hard work and be the setup man for your true superstars.
Yeah, well, and we're talking about momentum changing plays. Him pulling the puck off of David Pastrnak and finding MacKinnon.
Yep.
Like, that gets the Avalanche offense skating downhill the rest of the night. Also, he had 3 assists.
Did they give him the 3rd one? Altitude only showed the 2. I know
they did eventually. It was unassisted at first, and then NHL.com did eventually switch it.
It definitely went off his skate, so he deserved 3. Yeah. The empty netter last one, but funny that there are 3 assists from Artturi Lehkonen, and all of them don't have a secondary in this game.
Yeah, just primaries.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
Hard not to love it. Star number 2. I gave this one to Josh Manson, whose goal ultimately goes down as the game-winning goal, but also his goal was maybe his 4th best play of the night. It's just a puck from up high that goes into the net. He has multiple great offensive zone shifts where he dipsy doodles his way to the net front. You mentioned he nearly had the second goal on the end of that play out front. He was forechecking guys. He was putting hits in the neutral zone. His defensive end was, for the most part, solid tonight. That was the A+ game from Josh.
Yeah, it was good. And maybe my favorite moment was him being very willing to throw down with Nikita Zadorov after he ran Wedgwood.
Yep.
The
head shake.
Let's take this outside. I was like, oh, please take this outside. Please let me get out my cell phone and record this bum fight. This is going to be so good.
Well, we know Zadorov can't fight, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That big fella was about to get fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner by Josh Manson. I wanted it so badly. I was like, all right, the sport has turned me into a monster. It's made me give me the bloodlust that cannot be satiated.
What's your take on that play from Zadorov and running Wedgwood a little bit there? It seemed a little. You love it? I kind of hate it.
I don't like it. I don't like it from a player safety standpoint, and I don't like it from a Colorado standpoint. But if I'm Boston and I'm getting beat down and I'm looking for a little bit of life, what's the upside in taking that puck around trying to do something? And trying to make a play. Run the goalie. Cut hard in, make a power move. Maybe you score. Maybe that puck finds its way in. And then if you hurt Scott Wedgwood, let's be honest, if Zadorov hurt Scott Wedgwood on that, then their greatest resistance as the last line of defense to them getting back in the game and scoring the goal is gone. And to get a scrum going like that, you get a little passion, you get a little juice going. Come on. If you're getting beat down like that, you doing something like that gets a team going, and right, and they get fired up. They get a little. I mean, they didn't tonight, but sometimes that does happen. That's the value. That's why we talk about the value of a guy like an AJ Greer or a Matt Steinberg, right? Mason Marchment is the good example of this. That guy that will hey, your team doesn't have a lot of passion tonight. Well, this guy's going to do something arguably a little bit dumb, and it could fire your team up just in the nick of time. From a Boston perspective, I'm all about that. I understand why he does it, and I'm fine with it. It's reckless. It didn't end up doing anything, but in some games, it's going to get them into the game. It's going to draw them into the fight a little bit better. And tonight, they were just completely passionless and lethargic.
My problem is, one, Zadorov had already had an altercation on his last shift where he gives a shove to a guy and Landy comes over and says, no way, buddy. We're not doing this.
Oh, Landy snapped at him. That was Big Brother being you straighten up. And Zadorov was you're not on the ice this time. Neener, neener, neener.
Yeah, and then he runs into your goalie. And look, I understand adding a physical element to your game and wanting to get that fire like you were saying, but
yeah,
it's tough for me. And you go back and look at the play, and Zadorov makes zero effort to try and slow down or get out of the way or stop.
No.
He just runs him.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like I said, he's trying to draw his team into it, and whatever that looks like. And instead, they were just completely fine with it. I mean, somebody in Toyota chat says it's greasy. Yeah, it is. But a lot of that stuff that draws the ire of the opposing team, that's not good guy stuff. The opposing team doesn't get mad because you're being such great gentlemen. They do it because you're doing something a little bit greasy. And sometimes you need to get a little bit of grease to start a fire. True. That's all Zadorov was trying to do. And it didn't work. But they were already losing. There was really no downside for him in that situation.
All right, I'll drop it. Our first star of the game is, of course, Nathan MacKinnon. I don't know that we have a ton more to say about him, and I'm already way behind on my break. So Congrats
Sorry,
to Nathan
I'm sorry,
MacKinnon for the first star. It's not your fault, but we do need to hit our second break of the show, and then we'll hit our call in as well, as we are presented by Bet365. They're an official partner of the Colorado Avalanche, and you can get your bets in with them right now. I don't actually think I missed them all. First night of the year that I missed all my bets. So make your own bets at Bet365. Sign up with a new account and use code DNVR365 at sign up. Put $10 in your account. Put $5 on anything. You don't even have to hit your $5 bet. And you'll get $200 in bonus bets, which you can use on whatever you want to bet on with Bet365. You can take those $200. It's basically free money. If your bets hit, you have money now. Congratulations. If your bets miss, it was free money. So you don't mind too much if you lose them. The bonus bets can be used on spread, totals, player props, futures, and more, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365, so make sure you use that DNVR365 code and use the QR code on screen to download the Bet365 app today. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And then make sure you check out one of our newer partners, the Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers. They're the official sponsor of Denver sports fans. I'm near and dear to my heart. We lost my mom to breast cancer not too long ago. And places like Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers offer a bunch of opportunities, not just obviously the treatment, but they understand what families go through and what you're dealing with as a person and the people around you when it comes to your cancer situation. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. DNVR and Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers are proud to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Most of us know someone who's faced it, and it hits closer to home than we'd like to admit. Make sure you're going and getting yourself checked out or encourage your significant others to do so. A simple nudge could make all of the difference. And if you find you or a loved one does need treatment, RMCC is here to help. So head over to RockyMountainCancerCenters.com today to learn more. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, and we have our call in live from Ball Arena. See call. Bailey, thank you for calling in. How did this one look live? As dominant as we felt it looked?
Sorry, you guys are breaking up just a little bit. Live, this game was a bit of a streaky one for me, but overall, Avs are dominating here, limiting shots. I thought that first line looked incredible. The second line had a few moments here and there that I thought looked great. I mean, Landeskog obviously gets on the board a little bit with a point. Overall, not my favorite game from the Avalanche, but I think when it comes to limiting those chances, limiting shot volume, they get an A+ on that end for me tonight.
You do come from Carolina, so maybe you're used to the puck dominance, but 14 shots against is ridiculous, no?
That's insane to me. And in talking with Wedgwood post-game, I mean, he gives all the credit to the guys in front of him, making his job just that much easier in the back end. It's fun watching, as he said, your guys play in front of you when you can limit like that.
Yeah, it must be easy life to be a goaltender on a night. Well, I say that, but he still had to make 13 saves. He has to keep himself involved in the game too.
No, he absolutely did. And I mean, that one save, diving lateral save, I thought earned save of the night from me. He played an incredible game. I didn't think he was off very much. I don't really blame that single goal from Boston on him at all one bit.
You look at Nathan MacKinnon, a night where he leads by example, 8 shots on goal, pushes 2 goals into the back of the net, nearly beats Boston by himself in many regards. Is there some feeling that he's the one driving the bus when it comes to a night like this where the Avs were dominant, but maybe it feels a little bit weird? Maybe it looks a little bit awkward at times. Is everyone in line on the Nathan MacKinnon train, or is this just a superstar going above and beyond?
I would have to give it to the latter. I think he's already creating a very early heart conversation with his performance, which is, I guess, easy to do if you're Nathan MacKinnon. But there's something to be said about the chemistry, and that's something that's being talked about a lot in this room, that his line mates are making things very, very easy for him. So as much of a superstar as he is, there is a lot of belief and confidence and chemistry and building that. In his words, we have an elite group.
hard to argue with the results so far this year, that's for sure. On the back end, Bailey, Josh Manson, obviously, heck of a night for him, but were there any other standouts for you?
Brent Burns, I think, had a fantastic game. I think I haven't loved what I've seen from him so far. He's talk about streaky. I think he's been one of those players for me. But he showed that he is the big body that he is tonight. Kept pucks out of reach. I thought had some really good offensive pushes. I've really liked that line as a whole since they started playing together in Manson and Burns. Two big bodies that are really, really difficult to play against.
Must be nice when everything's hard to play against when you're the Colorado Avalanche. There's no line you feel good about going against with this team right now.
No, and it's Josh Manson especially is making it very, very difficult for for other teams to play against. He's not a guy you want to be caught against the boards with. I'll say that much.
That is for sure. I don't think anyone in Boston wanted to deal with Josh Manson tonight, especially not Nikita Zadorov. But
no, not at all.
I asked AJ this earlier. He's okay with it. He was fine with it. What's your take on Zadorov running Wedgwood there late in the third?
I wasn't a huge fan of it, but in a game like this where Boston's kind of becoming a little scrappy, they're trying to claw their way back into this game. It's understandable how that happens. I'm glad the call was made. It's understandable how it happened. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but that's just my take.
I guess that's hockey sometimes. AJ, any questions?
I'm good.
All right. Bailey, any final thoughts on this one?
Hi, it's good to see you. Hello. Excited to finally join you guys on some off-day pods here soon.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We say that the Avs have 4 games next week, so not too many off-day pods coming up.
Of course.
We will be very busy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on this one, Bailey, before we let you go?
I do want to point out how impressive the point streak is through 6 games.
6 point.
We
that empty netter.
And being able to scrap your way through some of these, most of them have been extremely dominant performances by the Avalanche. Still have staved off regulation losses this far in, I think is super, super important. So the fact that they've gone through 6 games, at least coming away with a point, I think is very, very telling of the belief that this team has very early on in the season.
It's now officially a winning streak, too, as this makes 3 wins in a row for the Avs.
Absolutely.
So counts there.
Nothing
Bailey,
to shirk away from.
No, never. Live the dream right now if you're a Colorado fan. Thank you for calling in, Bailey. We appreciate you. Go check out all of the interviews that they have. They probably are all out on Twitter already, so you guys can go find them immediately after the show there. Bailey, we will see you on Tuesday, I guess. Yeah, Tuesday is the next game.
Have a great rest of your night, boys.
Take it easy. Bailey Curtis calling in from the arena, doing all the hard work while we get to sit around and watch the hockey games on the couch. Yeah.
Courtesy call is so cute. It's so cute.
It's good stuff. We also do have, actually, is Bednar ready, Tiff? Okay, perfect. We have the interview with Jared Bednar post-game as well that Bailey got for us. So let's hear from him.
Go ahead, Jared.
Coach, I asked Nate about, we've asked him a lot about playing with Marty and how that's been, but it feels like, he keeps going back to, and Arturi makes a lot of that go. What is it, and then he just told us he works well with everyone. What is it that MacKinnon does that seems to just be such a secret sauce for whatever line?
I feel like I've answered this a lot, but he's always able to make the next play. He knows where guys are on the ice. Like, I think he's a super intelligent player, and then he plays bigger than his size. His anticipation is great, and when you need a touch on a puck to advance it or to put it into an area where someone else can get it, he just finds a way to get the touch he needs. He's reckless that way when it comes to putting his body on the line and making sure that he just gets that touch so the play can continue. And usually it's, a smart, intelligent play that puts those two guys, in positions to create offense.
What's it say about your team maybe when you're 5-0-1 and the power play's not going the way you want it yet and you're still winning the way you are?
Well, I mean, I think it says that we've been a good 5-on-5 team to this point. You know, like we're doing a nice job on the defensive side of it. We're doing a nice job on the offensive side of it, and the penalty kill's been really good. So, I mean, you got to win or tie the special teams battle, and the penalty kill's keeping them off the board. So we're tying it even if we're not scoring on the power play, and then we have faith in our 5-on-5 games. So, like, I think it says a lot. It says we're committed on the defensive side here early. We're playing with a good conscience. Our details are pretty good. I mean, it's far from perfect hockey, but it's pretty good for this time of the year.
Speaking of special teams as well, I mean, obviously Boston's had a really good penalty kill tonight, but we saw a bit of shuffling on the power play. Just overall first impressions.
Well, they weren't as dangerous as I'd like them to be. They did stick with it and grind to create some really good looks. Just there were, too long in between those looks for the opportunities that we have. But it's a brand new set, and we got on the ice for 10 minutes or 8 minutes to work on it, right? So different personnel, going to get used to each other again, and we're going to experiment with it, Like I'm not super concerned with it right now, but it's got to get going here at some point. So we're kind of shuffling personnel around and taking a look at some guys in some different positions, and then we'll make some more decisions. We may experiment even longer than we already have. Yep.
From the outside, it looks like your team is locked in, but from your vantage point, 2 weeks in, are they at an uncommon level of focus?
Yeah, I mean, the focus has been great. I said that from day one of training camp. I think it's a determined group coming back. It's the messaging around our room, I think, has been consistent, and, no nights off, and, playing the way we've been playing, focusing on the things that we just talked about, And so for me, it's the defensive commitment that's at a higher level to start the season than what it normally is, and our record is showing that.
When Sam went down, you made the decision to put Josh with Brent Burns.
Yeah.
It seems like he seems to be adjusting that left side well. Like,
Yeah, he
you
is.
liked about those two together.
Well, two big bodies that are both hard to play against, and they're closing plays out in the D zone quickly. They've done a nice job up ice versus the rush. We talked about it earlier in the year. I just wanted to take a look. Sam is slotted in the right spot right now on the right side. He's played a couple really good games back to back here. Looks more comfortable over there, but he's still playing left in these games as well. So we're just juggling him around a little bit so we can split up Taser and Kale a little bit and get them playing with everybody too. But with the addition of Burns and the way Manson is playing and Sam, I mean, the group looks good back there, and we feel confident with any of them on the ice. And we now have a couple righties shifting over to the left side to help us out a little bit.
Question over here to the right, go ahead.
How has the addition of Coach Haxtell to the coaching staff made the team more dynamic?
Well, he's been great, I think it's a different view on the power play. It's some different messaging. It's not that the messaging wasn't good before. It's just, trying to add and grow our PP units with a different view. He's helping out our young guys and our forwards and doing some video with those guys, and it's just a new voice, a new perspective, a guy that's been around, an experienced, good coach, and so I can't say better or worse or any of that. It's just different, and I think the guys are refreshed a little bit here with some of the messaging that he's getting, and that's why I have faith in the power play. I like what they're talking about and like what they're doing. It's just a matter of kind of getting together and gelling a little bit.
What was your first impression of Barton?
Well, he gave up a goal his first shift, so tough start. And then he got better from there, but he did some good things. He doesn't cheat you with the work ethic, the physicality. You just got to continue to work with him a little bit on the details of the game and the structure of our game, which can be difficult sometimes because of the language barrier.
Scott doesn't get to play 6 games in a row very often so far in his career to this point. Just how do you sort of sum up what he's meant to this so far?
He's been fantastic. Yeah, he's played great hockey. His worst game was probably the Dallas game. It's one game we gave up a point in. All the other games, I feel like he's been outstanding. So, I mean, he's given us a chance to win every night, and we're limiting the scoring chances against in front of him. And I think he's looked phenomenal, which is exactly what you need. It kind of reminds me of when we got him at the beginning or in the middle of last year. He came out and played his best hockey right out of the gate when he knew that he was fighting for the net, and he's done a good job. I mean, obviously, if he keeps playing like this, he's going to see more games.
When can we expect Trent Miner to get a start?
I don't know.
If he does end up getting one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Last one, Jesse.
Coach, obviously you guys dig out of that hole. You start 0-4 last year, but you guys end up finishing well above 500. How big is it for your group to get off to this kind of a start versus having to immediately be trying to play catch up?
It's a healthy group, you know. I know, like, when we lose, everyone's going to come after us, and when we win, it just, you know, I don't know if people think it's luck, but it's a good hockey team and it's healthy. It's not the same when you're missing 5-6 top players and they're sitting on the shelf because of injuries like last year. We took a beating at the start, but a lot of it is personnel. I mean, our guys are slotted right where they should be, and they're all playing well. And, you know, like, every guy you lose out of your lineup takes a toll on somebody else, and someone's playing in a different spot than the way you had it pictured at the start of the year. That is the main reason. The focus and, you know, the determination of our group and, you know, what we're trying to accomplish this year is equally as important, but we're healthy, you know. So when you're healthy, which doesn't happen often in this league, as healthy as we can be, you got to make hay when the sun shines.
Okay, thanks, Jordan.
Yep, thanks.
Health is important.
You gotta make hay when the sun shines. That's adorable. I love that.
Spoken like a Plains Canadian for sure.
Oh, no
We did it over 100 likes, chat. We appreciate you very much. Here is our winner's shot for the day. Dr. Dubs in the house. Can I give my supporters, members, to give us a few Dr. Dubs emojis? Cheers on that one. AJ Bednar talked about it a little bit. Your take on this fourth line with Bardakov, Brindley, and Kelly tonight?
I think I would agree with Bednar. It was a bad start.
The thing is,
breakdown.
Like, the guy who missed his assignment the worst was Kelly.
Yeah, it's Parker Kelly. It's not Zakhar Bardakov. It's Parker Kelly. But, you know, Bardakov got worked a little bit. And Brindley definitely could make a better play with the puck, getting it out of that zone. And then you're up the ice and, you know, it's a very different world, right?
Yep.
But I think I like the response because, all right, you've given that goal up. The coaching staff clearly was like, ooh, we want to ease off here. They gave him a couple of shifts. He played 4 shifts in the first period, which isn't great.
Not a ton.
But it's okay. And then he only played 2 in the second period. So it was, I think he only played 2 in the second period because the Avs were like really rolling and they were like, look, we don't need to mess with this. And then as soon as they got it to 3-1, Bardakov started coming over the boards. And the next thing you know, he went from playing under 4 minutes through 2 periods to playing over 4 minutes in the third period alone. Because they were like, yeah, we're okay. We can let him go through some growing pains now that we've more or less won this. Had Boston scored a second goal, I think you probably would have seen them go. Done for the night. That's
Fair
to say
enough.
they would have benched him, not murdered him, if that wasn't clear. That's what that was. Sorry.
You never know. You wouldn't be the first head coach to make that motion. Patrick Law.
Long live Zach Redmond getting sat.
Yep. All right. It was a bit interesting. You saw Brindley get a shift with the second power play unit. Just wanted to throw that out there. He did get over 10 minutes again. With the Kivy injury, there's nothing that's taking him out of the lineup. So I get. Well, here's my question. I don't know how long Kivy will be out. Are they going to burn the year?
What year?
On Brindley. Isn't this the last year of his ELC?
Yeah, but it doesn't slide. It's started
Oh,
already.
yeah, I'm stupid. He's over
Yeah,
20.
he's fine.
Yeah, there's no year to
he's
burn.
already
My
rocking.
bad.
Yeah, but the answer would be yes.
Okay. Yeah, my follow-up would be, does he stick? And I guess the real next hurdle point for that was who sits when LOC comes back.
That I think is going to be a death match between Bardakov and Brindley, because if
Okay.
Bardakov can hold up, and Bardakov's got the harder job, right? But if Bardakov can hold up and prove his worth as the center, then you would go Kelly, Bardakov, LOC. If Bardakov can't do that, then you are looking at
Kelly in the
probably going
middle.
like Brindley,
Yeah.
LOC, and then Kelly in the middle. And it would be interesting because Brindley and LOC are both right wings, and neither of them have ever played left wing. Like in pro hockey, not like
Yeah.
in their life.
Right.
In
right.
pro hockey, they've been right wings. It's not to say that it's not the same going from right wing to left wing as it is right defense to left defense.
Yeah.
But it is still an adjustment.
For sure.
So, I don't think that would be a problem, and I think that that's the likeliest outcome here. But Bardakov has a lot of work to do to try and catch up, because Gavin Brindley has not only played his way into the lineup, but with the injuries, I mean, I think that the team is just looking at him going, yeah, we want to keep him. But, I mean, what, a month? You give him a month, and if he still only has 1 or 2 points, then maybe you do have the conversation of like, okay, we really like what we've seen here, but he's just not quite there. He's not quite ready. I wouldn't be surprised for us to go that way, for us to be having that conversation in 6 weeks of it's just not quite there.
Sure.
Like, it's really, really close. It's just not quite there. But at the same time, like, this is me being the politician and straddling the fence. I'm not going to be shocked if Brindley does generate enough offense that it says, all right, I'm good. I'm going to stick. And his defense comes along. It hasn't been bad, but who's the guy that loses his man on the great save that Scott Wedgwood has to make? It's Gavin Brindley in front of his own net.
Yep.
And like, you're a fourth line, you're defense first. You have got to shore up the defensive zone first. No guy has ever stuck in the NHL because he's a really good offensive player on a fourth line. Like, Eli Tolvanen was a really fun example, but he laid the body. Like, he learned how to be a really good defensive player, and then his offense came along. Daniel Sprong's not in the NHL because of this exact thing.
If
you've got to shore up that defense first and foremost, and I keep saying shore up like Brindley doesn't, like he's bad defensively.
Right.
That's not the case. It's just that he's always going to lose some of these physical battles, and when you're playing a checking role, that's where you are.
There's
like that's your main focus. You're battling all game long. Every shift is a little war.
If his offense is so good that he can get away with not shoring up the defensive side, he won't be on the fourth line. He'll move up the lineup, right? That's the
and that's the easy conversation when there's some sort of a top 9 injury. But right now your top 3 lines have been so good.
Don't mess with it. Like,
yeah, you're not looking at Gavin Brindley and going, we've got to find time for him. Like, they stole a shift or two in this game.
Yep.
with some higher caliber offensive players, but not so much. And the results weren't incredible. And frankly, the fourth line results, and again, I know most of them come in the third period.
They're still their worst line. Results,
yeah. They played 649 together at 5v5. Shot attempts are 8-3. Now, what you don't like is that scoring chances are 3-3 and high danger chances are 0-2.
Yep.
Like, that's bad.
Pretty objectively, the Avs' worst line in this game. We are heading into overtime in just a minute here, and we do have 3 super chats to get to. So let's make sure we're hitting those and make sure you get with the conversation continuing online at thednvr.com. First super chat, just $10 from Ixon. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, buddy. Next one, $5 from Colorado Straight Flush, who says, I don't know the cap situation or if Marty needs an extension, but man, I really hope he will stay with us long term. Well, he does need an extension. Still has not come down the pipe yet, but Necas,
Yeah.
6-game point streak with that empty netter. For a contract year, things have started pretty darn good for the kid.
Yeah, I still have a hard time believing he's going to get 12 million, but
Me too.
the rumors of Alex Tuck getting 11 would make that really hard.
There's no
Like,
way Tuck's getting 11, right?
Well, in as much as Buffalo has to pay Buffalo was going to do everything that they can in their power to keep him, and even that means overpaying him.
True.
But like when Kyle Connor got 12, it was like, okay, this should keep Necas from getting in that zone, because Kyle Connor has been so much more valuable and productive over the years than Necas. But Necas' age, and if Tuck, like,
resets
that's how
the
this
market,
works, right?
yep.
Like the Avs are going to use Connor at 12, and they're going to say, we can't even get to that. Like, we're not getting to that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's we could keep having this conversation every single day, where it's like, this is such a fascinating, evolving situation with those guys.
Different by the minute. And then $5 from Wilson, who says, no booing on the 5 failed power plays tonight, Nate. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. Maybe they needed a few boos to get one to go in the net. Not even that they necessarily played poorly, but.
That's right.
Look, I don't think there's a ton of ways to cut this pie. The Colorado Avalanche just played super dominant games, 2 games in a row, and won both of them 4-1. And the third period of both of those games was, for the most part, cruise control.
Yeah.
That's about as good as you can do. And I don't even think, I think this was closer to a B game for Colorado on the whole. I think there was some puck sloppiness, some lack of execution. But
man, come on.
I do. I think they can play a lot cleaner. They just dominated the puck, and Boston kind of sucks.
Oh, that's for sure. But that's still an NHL team out there that they embarrassed.
True.
That's if that's not an A- game, your expectations have gotten out of whack. Like,
they are 5-0-1, so I'm open to that.
They left you wanting a little bit offensively and with the finishing and the quality of the offense, but the defense was so damn good that you cannot give that a B. I refuse to believe that we're going to live in a world where that's a B game.
I can live with that. Defense was certainly an A. If you give up 14 shots and you don't give the defense an A, I don't know what to tell you on that front.
Can I give you my stat of the night that I promised you?
I'm ready.
Close to getting out of here. All right. We'll do it like this. Rudo, who do you think where do you think Cale Makar ranked among Avalanche defensemen at 5v5 time?
All time? Tonight?
No, tonight. Yeah, tonight. Just in tonight's game.
Like first.
6th.
Really?
6th.
So I guess he played a dump load of power play time, but
yeah, but he was the lowest ice time defenseman at 5v5 for the Avs. All right. Now that in mind, his most common opponent was David Pastrnak. Would you like to know what his expected goals percentage finished as tonight? Do you have a guess?
75.
How about 99.54?
This is a real stat?
This is a real stat. His expected goals tonight were 1.04 to 0. The expected goals that Boston created while Cale Makar was on the ice tonight was not even 0.01.
That seems impossible.
Scoring chances, Cale Makar on the ice tonight. Scoring chances were 16-1. 16-1. Shot attempts were 29-4. 29-4. And keep in mind, he was 6th on the Avs in 5v5 ice time.
16-1.
For scoring chances. Yeah.
How many times, how much 5-on-5 ice time did he actually play?
12:52.
Okay. How many times in history Has any player played at least 10 minutes and their goals against expected is 0?
I have never I'm a huge nerd. I like to browse like line tool data because I find it fascinating. And I have never, even in a single game, seen a line
put up 0.
Put up a 99% expected goals percentage. And that's what the MacKinnon line did tonight, by the way.
Not bad.
Yeah. The MacKinnon line tonight, in 10 minutes and 31 seconds of 5v5 time, shots on goal were 8-0, scoring chances were 13-0.
That's all right. They're just not competitive. Just not.
Right. Expected goals in a single game, especially when you get so into the weeds of like breaking it down into a specific line, can get a little wonky because like one shift can, it's
but
not something that I usually like
to do. Dude.
But exactly, 0 is 0, and 99% is not something I've ever seen before. Normally, if you see a number that's like 100%, something like that, it's because it was 2 shot attempts to 0.
The guy played
not
a minute and 30
minutes.
seconds. Yeah.
Not in 10 minutes of play. And it's like the dominance. I mean, the dominance there that when they were all on the ice together, when Colorado's top line and Taves and McCarr, like, you will not see a 99% again this season. I feel confident saying that.
You might not see it 99% for the next 5 seasons.
It like may never happen again. Like it just does. You mean to tell me that in 10 minutes of ice time, 10 plus, I should say, like other teams are not able to create one good scoring chance?
Even a situation where a goal could theoretically go in, like
exactly. Or you're stretching the numbers to try and be like, well, it was like a 0.1 expected goals or something where you're all right, whatever. But 0, it's just 0.
Yep. That is crazy. We'll leave it at that. We're wrapping up our post-game show. We're off Sunday and Monday, but we'll be back Tuesday for another game there. Keep an eye out on the DNVR.com for all of AJ's written stuff. I'll have a video up in the morning. Go check out those pressers like I mentioned. We appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365, and we'll see you Tuesday.
We all silly like the mayor.